G'day everyone, this is Jill experimenting with a hangout from the Radisson Hotel in Salt Lake City. As you probably know, I arrived in Salt Lake City a few days ago to get in the zone and ready for Rootstech 2015, for which I'm an official ambassador. I thought I'd get here early to get over the jet lag, and so I'd be ready for all the activity that happens prior to the conference. I met up with a few people on the very first night, and as the days have progressed, I've watched more and more people arrive at the conference. I had a busy day today. I blogged about part of my day, but I thought rather than start typing, it is a bit late at night here, I'd show you a few photos of what happened during the day. The very first photo is a photo taken at the Family History Library. The person on your right is Roger Moffat, who's a New Zealander who lives in Michigan. He was up on the third floor of the library with a few others, while Dear Myrtle, also known as Pat Rich Lyrics, and the genealogy hangout queen, was preparing for her regular Monday morning Dear Myrtle hangout, Mondays with Myrt. Now, normally she does this from home, but today, in honour of Rootstech, she managed to get hold of a room, a glass sort of cage at the top of the Family History Library. You can see it here on the screen behind Roger. And she broadcast from there. So as well as having participants online, today she actually had people in the room with her. And I was rather excited a couple of days ago that she approached me or sent me an invitation and said, Jill, you're welcome to come into the room for all or part of the hangout. And so I immediately said, yeah, I'll join you for the whole hangout, which went for 2 hours, or about 2 hours, a bit over. So it was very exciting to join with fellow genealogists, both in person and online, and to watch Myrt, the mistress of the genealogy hangout, in action. Now, going back to this photo, there was Roger Moffat, who is on the right of the photo for you. The gentleman in the middle is Mr. Myrt, who is Dear Myrtle's right-hand man, Gordon, her husband. And on your left is Michael Leclerc, a genealogist from, I think it's Boston, and Michael works for McCarver. So what these gentlemen here were doing was signing up on a sort of a timesheet to have a time to come into the room and speak with Dear Myrtle. Now, if I can progress these photos properly. No, they won't progress. Just wait a minute. I have to actually go to my app, which I'm doing. The second photo is, I just need to get the arrows so I can get to them, because there's a little message from Google that I can't. Dear me, Google. Sometimes you're a little bit of a pest. There we are. I've got it now so that I minimize again. Maybe if I move across here, I can get rid of that pesky. Yes, I have. Let's move on. So before the show, Myrt set everything up in the glass panelled room. A few people were with Myrt. Once again, we have on the right Roger, the Kiwi. There's Dear Myrtle looking beautiful in pink. It's really her colour. Barry Klein acted as cameraman for Dear Myrtle. And this person in the blue here, peeping through the shoulders, is Hilary Gadsby. From Wales. She's a blogger, a genia blogger, and her blog is called Edge of Snowdonia. It was so exciting because Hilary's been an online friend of mine and joined in some of my hangouts many times. And it was the first time I'd met her in the flesh, so that was rather super. I can't even remember what photos I've got here. So let's move through. Oh, now it's getting serious. Dear Myrtle is just about ready to start. So she's got a few people seated around her. She's got her name written on the whiteboard. Hillary's concentrating. To Dear Myrtle's left is Laurie, and I can't say her name properly, Desmarais, who's been one of my social media mates for quite a while. The lady in the back with the black vest is one of my new Facebook friends, someone I met for the first time today, Susan Howard. And I'm sorry, I forget the name of that. I can't remember everyone, the lady behind her, but she was very vivacious and enthusiastic member of the panel throughout Myrtle's talk. Now, you may notice that Myrt and Hillary and Laurie are wearing some nice beads. I've also got a set of those beads. It's a bit of a tradition now when we go to conferences that bloggers, and I can't find where I've put mine, wear some brightly coloured beads. And thanks to Myrtle and her cousin, real cousin, Russ, for supplying beads for all the bloggers who are attending Rootstech. I'm going to do the same thing for all the bloggers who attend our Congress in Australia next month in Canberra. As well as having the computer in front of her, Dear Myrtle had a big screen set up that was connected to a projector so that people who were not in the room with her could actually see through the glass windows in the little conference room we were using and see what was happening on the screen of Myrt's computer. So this was projected up there. It's a lovely little portable screen that Myrt owns. Now, Russ Worthington was over on the East Coast. Not the East Coast. Yeah, the East Coast. I'm a bit sus on American geography. I think he's somewhere in New Jersey. Russ is Myrt's producer or technical person or whatever. He helps keep the show going. You'll notice he's wearing a mic and he's concentrating. Down the bottom you'll see the panel, and it's got photos of people, and they're people who joined in live online and who made comments throughout the program. So it was rather good. I was pleased to see Claire Brisson-Banks, who I've met a couple of times over here at Rootstech. She's actually moved from Utah, where I think she's been living for a few years. I certainly met her probably 4 years ago when I first came over. And Claire's moved somewhere else in the United States, but she joined in online. So that was really great to see her. The people who were in the room were sort of a bit mesmerised as Myrt was doing her thing. You can see her set up there. She's got the projector. She's got her laptop. Then she's got another little computer monitor to the right of it. Now, just going through the people again, I've introduced most of them to you, but the lady on the left in the black and white jacket wearing her beautiful beads is Helen Smith. She's another one of the Aussie contingent to Rootstech. Helen is from Queensland, and if you do a search for Helen V. Smith, you will find her blog. The lady beside Helen is Jenny Joyce. She's got a dark grey t-shirt on. She's another Aussie, and she's the vice president of the Ku-ring-gai Historical Society and a professional genealogist, and she blogs at genealogy.blogspot.com. You can see Myrt's got a bit of a furrowed brow there as she concentrates on making everything happen. As well as people being in the room and people being able to join online, Russ monitors comments that people make in Dear Myrtle's genealogy community. And here one of my genie mates, Diane Rogers, had made a comment that Russ posted for us all to see. That's Barry Klein manning the camera. And over on the left, you can see the domey sort of roof of the Mormon Tabernacle in Temple Square. This is a bit of a happy snap. This is on the left. We've got Pat Stam, who's from the NGS, National Genealogical Society, a body in the United States. Now, behind them, the lady with the beautiful hair, who's leaning up against Laurie, is Jen Baldwin, who works for Find My Past. Jen joined Pat during the program to talk about Find My Past, and then she changed hats and spoke about the Preserve the Pensions project with which she is involved. You'll notice Roger there's got his blogger beads. Jen's got a blogger beads. So we're going to be able to recognise everyone who's a Genia blogger because they're wearing their beads. So that'll be great. Michael Leclerc came in from whatever he was doing outside. It was his allocated time. So he came in with Michael Lopico. He's the fellow in the check shirt on the left. Michael is the author of the Who's Your Daddy blog. You must read it, and you must start at the very beginning. It is a wonderful, true mystery narrative told by personal narrative told by Michael, tugs at the heartstrings. Just, he's a wordsmith. He writes beautifully. So they actually stopped and posed for me during their chat. Roger was very busy while everything was going on his smartphone. It's sort of an extension to his arm, I think. And Hillary was mesmerised by whoever else was talking at the time. Laurie looks in a pensive mood, but the whole time she was in the room, she was just smiling and jolly and happy. She got to speak also with Dear Myrtle. Barry was able to leave his post as cameraman to talk to Mert during the end of the hangout. He did a wonderful job panning and whatnot with the camera, so that not only the people speaking with Mert were able to be viewed by those watching, but also the people outside in the library foyer and those of us who were sitting down the other end of the desk from Mert. Oh, it was so exhausting, the whole morning, that once the hangout finished, I wandered downstairs and found some of my mates. We wandered off to a lovely local cafe, the Blue Lemon, for lunch. Now, thanks to Roger, Kiwi Roger, he took this lovely snap of Pauline from the Northern Territory on the left of the screen. That's me peeping over Pauline's shoulder. Then there's Hillary and Jenny Joyce. Of course, once we finished eating, we headed back to the library to actually do some real work. As I walked into the library, a gentleman said to me, who was helping a patron, this gentleman was one of, he's got a blue lanyard on there, is one of the workers in the Family History Library, and he's looked up from chatting with his customer and said, "Hello, Jill." And for those Australians who are looking at this, it's Dan Poffenberger. And Dan gave a couple of wonderful talks when he came out to Australia in 2012 for our national Congress. And I met Dan there, and then I met him a couple of years ago at Rootstech and actually did a video interview with him about his work with family search, etc. And you can see that on my YouTube channel, Jill Ball. That's Pauline again from the Northern Territory, who I introduced to Dan, and that's me, the short person. And now we're back to the beginning, so I'm going to unscreen share, and if I can find, yes, here I am, back. So here I am. You haven't seen me before in this broadcast. I don't know if it's actually going to work, so I'm going to say goodnight. Tell you that it was a fantastic, exciting day in Salt Lake City today. Tomorrow I've got a tour, a luncheon, and hopefully some research time in the library before I go out for dinner with about 18 other genies from having a dinner for Aussies and cousins from the Commonwealth. And so there we've got people from England, Scotland, Wales, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and pardon me, how terrible, one American. So that's going to be great. If this works tonight, I'll report again tomorrow on my day's activities. So thank you for watching this report from Salt Lake City.